it's always interesting to me when somebody comes from the corporate world or having another 9-to-5 job and also is a successful real estate agent. And me and Cheryl talked about how she was able to double down on her relationships in her corporate job and really utilize those to help grow her business, and how she uses the skills that she learned while she was a realtor to help market and become and accomplish what she wants to as a real estate agent. Check out the conversation with Cheryl Caruso.
Yay.
One of my favorite things to talk about, which is how we deal with difficult real estate transactions. There's a lot of different ways that real estate can be difficult, right? It can be emotional, which is difficult. There's hard types of strategies and types of transactions people deal with. And then there's just the state of the industry and market at any given time can be difficult. And so there's a lot, and we talked about the solution that I think that solves a lot of those problems. But when you're dealing with a difficult real estate situation, like, what do you think is the best way to handle those types of situations?
Thinking through some of the ones that I've done. I think that the first thing, of course, is, understanding that there's going to be things that are just out of your control that happen. For myself, especially new, I'm a very results-driven person. So when something starts to go south, I feel as though it's like my job to sort of get in front of that and protect people, make sure that we stay on path. And I had to learn very quickly with this that, like, there are going to be things that are just completely beyond your control that you can't help. So I think for me, it's really understanding what exactly is going on, having a clear head, not getting too involved in the emotional, because your client more than likely is going to get emotional in that point, because this is a big deal for them. They have a lot riding on it, and they're much more tied to it emotionally than you are. So for one, removing myself from the emotion. That took a little practice. Even though I consider myself highly emotionally intelligent, it took a little practice. So that's number one, removing myself from the emotional part of it. And two, just really figuring out, okay, what exactly is the problem? Like, identify the issue, define the problem.
The root cause of that.
The root cause of the problem.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of other fluff in there, and people will get hung up on that and bring it in, and that's not even a part of the issue.
Yeah.
So it really helps create, like, sort of that vision or that tunnel, so you can really hone in on what the issue is. Yeah. And then start to work backwards, with that, trying to figure out, like, what are the options we have here. Yeah. I like to lay out options for people, say, well, we could do this, and then this is what might happen. We could do this. Yeah. Or we could do this.
There's so many great things there.
Yeah.
The first part of it that I think is super important is being able to identify the actual issue that there is. Like, when we're dealing with issues within our organization or with our clients, a lot of times you have to sit there and listen to everybody's emotions and feelings around the issue and ask the questions to get to the root cause of it. I mean, when Lauren's doing a business planning session with a client, most of the time, whenever they're trying to scale and they want somebody to help them grow, you have to sit through the first meeting and say, you're paying me by the hour, or you're paying for this session that's going to cost you X number of dollars, but I'm going to sit here until you feel like you've given us all the feelings and emotions to get that out, so that we can start now talking about what ceilings are you hitting within your organization. And, like, what is and same with the real estate transaction, like, let's get all the feelings and emotions that you have around the situation out, so we can get to the problem and solve the issue, so we can move on to the next step in this transaction. That was key. But the second thing I think you said, and I literally had that thought today as I'm talking with employees, it's like, you can't get frozen in the moment. You have to figure out the steps that you have to take, and then take some action to find the solution, right? Like you said, you've got to look at everything and give them the options and say, okay, like, all the emotional aside, we know what the issue is, and these are our options. You might not like the options. They might be too expensive. They might be hard. They might be not worth taking, that you're willing to step away from this deal, but these are our options. Yeah. And let's take a step. And I think a lot of real estate people get caught up on that. And sometimes, as a real estate agent, you might not have the answers to the steps, but you got to have the team that you can call to help find the steps to take.
Or the right partners. Yeah, How many calls do we get a day?
Yeah.
Right?
My phone is literally blown up. I'm sure they got a lot of people.
Mine too. And I mean, my other part that I think is the third step that everybody fails to do is, after the fire is extinguished, right? After that one root issue is solved, what steps can you put in place in the future to avoid that ever happening again? Like, if you do that 3-step process, I mean, you almost have a foolproof operating system, right? But people don't necessarily want to run into that challenge. But I think it's because you're motivated by results. It doesn't, you can bring a million different personalities to any given industry, and people will tell you this, this personality type always succeeds. They succeed at a certain type. But if you're a results-driven person, you will always get to a successful point.
Yeah.
Always.
Yes.
Right? And it's because of those 3 steps. What is the actual problem? How am I going to solve it? Get it solved, even if we don't like all the options, and then put something in place to avoid it in the future.
Yeah.
But
Love
how much of your corporate background has given you that, right? I mean, a business that operates at that level, that's corporate, they have a system of doing that.
Yeah, it
and
doesn't
solving
matter the
problem.
industry. It's
It
just,
doesn't matter the
it's
industry.
a smooth operating
Exactly.
business. That's it.
My wife worked in IT staffing for a
Yeah.
long time, and she was selling and she was solving problems and helping people identify their problem, find the right resource and leverage to be able to solve that problem. And there's good and bad. Every corporation has fluff and things that are unnecessary, but having that experience and that background allows you to see business operate at a high level and figure and know how they need to run in order to get things done and solve problems. I think people who have a corporate background like you have,
It's natural.
it's natural. You have that
Yeah.
gift.
Yeah, it's just going to go wrong. It really is. It's especially in this business. But
Yeah, in
it's,
real
I mean,
estate,
every
it's not.
business, it's going to go wrong. And so it's not really avoiding like what goes wrong. It's learning from that. And yes, putting a plan in place. And a lot of places, they do what we call, in my corporate world, lessons learned, our lessons learned session, our debrief, our retrospective. But what I've seen people do is they'll go through the debrief, they'll talk about everything that went wrong and all the problems, and they'll do a lessons learned, but they will not take that list
Won't
of
implement
lessons
it.
learned and go change a process or procedure to prevent it, and they'll do the same issues
Yeah.
over and over and over again. So yes, I'm
Give
definitely
me their number.
someone-
I'll fix that.
Yes. So I absolutely agree. I think that, part of succeeding is failing. And so it's not about avoiding problems. It's about how you learn from them, how you come back from them, and how you improve. It's continuous
Absolutely.
process improvement over time.
Mic drop.
It's a
Yeah.
living organism.
It is.
I love it.
It's fun. Well, you did great.
You did.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on.
Thanks.
It was great.
This was
talking
fun.
to you
With
about real
13
estate.
seconds to spare.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's just a good time.